Welcome back. The earlier small business owners accept the current harsh economic reality, the better for them in confronting it head-on. The founder of Masterpiece Resource and Development Center, Modukbe Oyekunle, gave this advice at the Trade Expo held in Lagos recently. Representing the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment in Lagos, Mrs. Ose Aitebi says the government is committed to expanding its support for small and medium-scale enterprises. She reaffirmed the Lagos government's commitment to public-private partnerships to strengthen retail, adding that collaborative efforts create a more robust and resilient retail ecosystem. Other notable speakers also shared their thoughts on empowering entrepreneurs.
And second of all, to bring us to a point where in this season where it looks as if economically things are not, that strong, but it's actually when the spirit of entrepreneurship should come forth. The spirit of resilience in the midst of challenges, the spirit of risk-taking, and that's why it's called Power Up, from challenges to opportunities. So we know that the challenges are right before us, but the core spirit of an entrepreneur is that irrespective of what faces you, you stand up, walk the talk, with God backing, with networking, with competence, character, and your capacity, you can push higher.
God has really blessed us with mineral resources, whatever we need to develop as a state, as a country, and as a continent. So if we work together, we are adults, we can help the youth, tell them where to go and how to go about it.
Being innovative, being consistent with the brand promise that customers have come to trust and believe in is invaluable. And this is something I think that we've done very well.
I will encourage entrepreneurs to begin to think outside the box. When you think outside the box, you have foundations like WHO, all the different international organizations. Once you have a laudable idea, you have an exceptional innovation, then you can work on getting funding.
Justice Raman Oshodi of the Lagos Special Offences Court has described the approach of the Lagos Special Court in trying cases of sexual and gender-based violences as sophisticated. It says the state has the highest number of convictions on sexual assault. Moyo Thomas reports.
Day 2 of the EU-funded 10th Network Conference of Sexual Assault Referral Centers in Abuja. Under the 16 days of activism against sexual and gender-based violence, had lawyers associations, justices, state commissioners for women affairs, CSOs, and other groups in attendance, with the sole aim of ensuring not only access to justice for survivors of SGBV, but also ensuring justice is served. Insufficient laws and legislation, police handling, and insufficient evidence are some of the identified obstacles to getting justice for survivors of SGBV in Nigeria. The process can sometimes be frustrating, as described by the police force gender unit.
So at times there are cases like this that, at times your hands are tied. There's nothing you can do. Even if I decide to say, okay, this case must go to court, I must push it to court. If it gets there, it will not see the light of day. Because if they have a very sound lawyer, if they have a very good criminal, they will just knock me out. And that is what I don't want. So this thing cut across board, madam. We will improve on our IPUs to ensure that our cases sees the light of day.
We do not just establish the specialized court.
Citing examples, Justice Raman Oshodi explains that robust trial preparation, comprehensive investigation, and technology integration through digital case filing will go a long way to help get justice served.
So every public officer, whether the prosecutor, whether the defense investigator, you must be on point. The case, you must rehearse the case over and over again and make sure you present the best evidence. To have a document as to everything in the case from beginning to the end, then potential defense must also be there. So we must have this robust trial preparation. And the fourth point is we must use technology. We must have e-filing. Data is never lost. We have the e-copy, we have the hard copy.
He also says one of the methods that has worked for Lagos State is the mandated reporters, a group of people that tells on victims of abuse when they notice any in their environment. He believes implementation of these methods will help get the much desired justice for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
The once comatose education system in Adamawa State is now taking a new lease of life. This is happening in just 5 years into the administration of Governor Fintiri. In this report, filed from our studio, senior reporter Wolabi Adenusi walks us through the transformation.
Before now, Adamawa State was at the bottom in the West African Senior School Certificate and National Examinations Council performances. That record lasted for a while, but the story is now different as the state sits at the second position nationally and first in the Northeast region. Primary and secondary school education is free in the state, with the state government taking responsibilities for WAEC and NECO fees.
We are reviewed and harmonized education policy, where at the moment you can have a one-stop shop as far as policy is concerned in terms of education. This has been able to domesticate all the national policies that are related to the sector.
On its part, the State Commissioner for Rural Development says the Fintiri administration has touched almost all rural communities in the state with developmental projects.
One landmark project which we embarked on, which we started in 2024, is the construction of 42-kilometer road from orientation camp in Gire local government, passing through Lambodo to Borong in Diamsal local government. The project is still ongoing, and I'm sure by the time it is completed, people from that area will benefit from the gesture.
In no distant time from now, courtrooms in Adamawa State will be fully digitized to meet up with international best practice.
In pursuit of excellence, the Adamawa State government has prioritized modernization of judicial infrastructure, renovation and upgrading efforts at High Court complexes A and B are near completion.
Other commissioners took turns to reel out their achievements.
For the Child Development Directorate, we mostly work in collaboration with UNICEF, which have enrolled 152 adolescent children into various skills acquisitions.
On the first day of the event, 9 commissioners have so far given account of their stewardship, while others are expected to have their turns in the coming days.
The House of Representatives says it is committed to resolving issues arising from unaccessed tertiary education funds trapped in the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Chairman House Committee for Tertiary Education Trust Funds spoke at a one-day oversight function in Enugu State. Senior reporter Bamidele Ajayi has more.
Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, is a scheme established by the federal government of Nigeria in 2011 to disburse, manage and monitor education tax to government-owned tertiary institutions in Nigeria. The funds are set up to provide supplementary support to all levels of public tertiary institutions by using funding alongside project management for the rehabilitation, restoration and consolidation of tertiary education in Nigeria. The concern of the intervention fund meant for the tertiary education development yet to be assessed by beneficiary institutions are the reasons this House of Representatives Committee are here on oversight function. The pioneer chairman of the committee says the essence of their visit is to ensure the release of intervention funds from 2020 to 2023.
I heed the call to relax most of those conditions to enable the institutions be able to access these funds that were hitherto lying in CBN, which are of no use for the intentions they were made.
Governor Peter Mbah praised the committee for taking up the task to promote tertiary education development in Nigeria.
We cannot commend you enough for your sensitivity to these unassessed funds, for you to have also put some machineries in motion to ensure the seamless access to these funds is highly commendable.
The committee, however, expressed its determination to mitigate the bottlenecks that inhibit the accessing of the fund for the development of tertiary education in Nigeria.
We pledge our support and deploy legislative interventions where necessary to ensure that this intervention seeks to actually bridge the infrastructure gap as well as promote teaching and learning.
The funds are disbursed for the general improvement of education in federal and state tertiary institutions, especially for the provision of maintenance of essential physical infrastructure for teaching and learning, institutional material and equipment, research and publication, academic staff training and development, and any other which is the opinion of the Board of Trustees that is critical and essential for improvement and maintenance of standard in higher educational institution in Nigeria. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News, Enugu.
Turning attention now to the foreign scene, reports emerging from the United States indicate President Joe Biden has agreed to give Ukraine anti-personnel landmines in a move seen as an attempt to slow down Russian troops' advances. A U.S. defense official confirmed that Ukraine has pledged to use only mines that remain active for a limited period of time and would not use them in densely populated areas. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv is temporarily closed, as it says it received information of a potential significant attack on November the 20th. Overnight, both Ukraine and Russia reported major drone attacks. Earlier, it was confirmed that U.S.-made longer-range Army tactical missile system had struck targets inside Russia only days after reports emerged that the White House had granted permission for their use.